Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a traditional corned beef hash with fried eggs on top. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any of my recipes. Now let's get cooking. So the first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to take 3 small potatoes. I prefer to use Yukon Gold, and I'm going to go ahead and roughly chop them into smaller bite-sized pieces. Now that I've chopped the potatoes up into smaller bite-sized pieces, just about that big, I'm gonna go ahead and throw them into a pot of water, bring them to a boil, and boil them lightly for 7 to 10 minutes until they're almost done. Now that the potatoes have been boiling for about 5 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and add a pinch of salt to the potatoes and let them cook for another 2 to 3 minutes until they're almost done. Now once the potatoes are done cooking, I'm gonna place a lid on the pot, turn off the heat, and I'm gonna drain the potatoes well. I'm gonna get started on chopping up 1 medium-sized onion that I've already cleaned and peeled. Now that we have our onions chopped, we're gonna go ahead and chop up our corned beef. I just didn't have time to make my own corned beef. So I went to my local deli and I got thickly sliced, top round corned beef. We're gonna chop that up into cubes as well, about the same size as the onions and the potatoes. I'm using about half a pound of corned beef. You can use a little less or you can use a little more, but I believe that you should have a little bit more corned beef than you have potatoes and onions. Now that the potatoes are done boiling, we're gonna put them back on the stove and turn the heat onto medium-high. We're gonna add 2 pads of butter, give it a stir, and start getting some color on those potatoes. Once we start getting a little color on the potatoes, we're gonna go ahead and add the onions to the pan. We don't want to get any color on the onions, we just want them to become translucent. Lighten them up a little and cook them softly until they're tender. That should only take about 2 to 3 minutes. We're going to add our corned beef to the pan, stir it one more time, and we're going to let the corned beef brown together with the potatoes. Now for the seasoning. I'm going to add just a tiny sprinkle of ground mustard seed. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of smoked paprika for the smoky flavor and of course to add a little bit of color. I'm going to season with plenty of fresh ground black pepper. I'm not going to add any salt at this point because the corned beef is pretty salty as it is. You can try it when your dish is ready, and if you feel it needs more salt, feel free to add some. Now I'm going to add 3 cloves of crushed garlic. Now you're going to give it one more stir to combine all of the spices together. And as you can see, the potatoes and the corned beef are beginning to brown, but the onions remain translucent. Now what you want to do is press down as hard as you can on your hash to the bottom of the pan for a minute or 2 to help develop a crust on the bottom. Now let this cook without touching it for a good 2 to 3 minutes. Now it's been about 3 minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna flip the corned beef hash over. As you can see, it's developed a nice crust, a darker color, which will all add to flavor later. Make sure you flip on all sides. Press it down again the same exact way you did the first time and let it cook for another 2 to 3 minutes so you can get that nice golden crust on the other side as well. Now that it's cooked for another 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to give it one more stir, and you can see what a beautiful char and color the corned beef hash has developed. And it's ready. Now we're going to transfer it to a serving plate. So you are welcome to use another clean frying pan to fry your eggs separately, but I happen to like to use the same pan because it's already flavored with all those delicious spices from the corned beef hash. Turn the heat on to medium-low, throw another pat of butter in there. Once that's melted, I'm going to go ahead and crack 3 eggs into the pan. And we're gonna fry those for just a couple of minutes until the whites are set but the yolks are warm and still runny. I am gonna season my eggs with salt and pepper a bit because nobody likes bland eggs, do they? Now that the egg whites are just set and the yolks are warm and runny, we're gonna go ahead and place the eggs right on top of our beautiful corned beef hash. Now it's time to dig in. Look at how beautiful and runny this yolk is. You just have to see this. Let's grab some corned beef, a piece of potato, and let's give this a try. I'm absolutely speechless. I could eat it any day of the week. If you enjoyed this recipe and would like to see more, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that like button down below. Thank you for watching and enjoy.